Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm going to present to you the Aimbetter Monitoring Tool website. Aimbetter today for a better tomorrow. This is the login screen. First thing when I enter the Aimbetter system, I can see all companies and server statuses through a single monitor. I can recognize that the alerts are ordered by colors. I have an option to view the server statuses while the alerts are in order of severity. Red is critical alert. Orange is medium alert. Yellow is low alert. Green means that everything is okay. The alert's bar color is chosen based on the highest color of alert severity in that minute. I can see the recognized alerts displayed by the level of a server name and the exact company name. There is also change tracking alerts. The blue line below the severity colors in that exact minute where there is a change in the server, in levels of OS sources and SQL settings. Once I want to focus on a specific server or company, I navigate to Sites and expand the company where I want to see the server details. Clicking on it, I can focus on a specific server status. I can expand in order to see the alerts. Here I have alerts about low disk space, which has been active for 18 hours, and login exceptions, and number of errors for the last hour. Going back to Site and navigating to Performance, I can see all server status in the monitor. The layers of data are split into two. First is OS layer, starting from Hosts to Analyze tabs, and also Observer tab. Second is Database layer, from MSSQL to Wait Stats tabs, and also Queries tab and Observer tab. While on this demo, the focus is on Microsoft SQL Server Monitoring. On Performance tab, the first tab that opens is called Host, where there is a review of the OS sources and statuses, CPU, memory, disks, network, and internet. On that example, we can see that some values were tagged, which means that it's frozen whenever I scroll right in order to see more data, like Excel. The tagged columns are OS version, manufacturer, Windows update, and CP usage. Here I went back to Sites and focused again on a specific server. When clicking on a specific value, I can see the average, minimum, and max values of the CPU for the last day. This metric is available anywhere on Aimbetter where there is a graph and numbered values. Clicking on Add Graph, there is an option to see several graphs in one place. This is limited for the same data row. I can choose as many as I want. Here I chose to add memory free. I can navigate to see both CPU and memory status in parallel. Clicking on the icon of 3 white dots and columns, I can choose to add or remove values. Click Apply in order to save your choice. Next thing is enter Aimbetter using the same login. Your choice is saved on the Performance tab. On Network, I can see more details related to network values: the card name, bandwidth, network utilization, receive or send of kbyte per second. If the card name or bandwidth is changed, Aimbetter will send you a change tracking alert. Going to disk, I can see detailed data about disk usage, free space, busy time, reads and writes, MB output and input for seconds, and more. I chose to display 2 graphs of busy time and I/O per second because this way there's an option to compare those values and check write disk performance. On CPU, data is displayed on core usage level. Here you can check the core's performance and compare it. On paging, you can see paging file usage. This parameter is in use when the server RAM memory is low and the server allocated memory usage to the disks. On services, you can see details that are like task manager, services names, and whether it's active or not, account running it, mode, and path. Aimbetter is unique since it can recognize changes in the service and save it over time. The default is 30 days. On the running graph, the values are 1 is a running service and 0, which is not a running service. On processes, each process details are displayed. Usage of OS resources, processed, username, last initialization, and more. By default, the values of usage are ordered descending by CPU usage. It's possible to change the values order set. Each process has its own image. Aimbetter can display to you a summary of a specific image utilization of memory and CPU, showing also the process count of the same image name. This might be useful in terminal servers, where many users are running the same process and might cause an overload on the server because of that. On the Analyze tab, there are logs collected every 5 minutes of process that might affect CPU, memory, disk I/O, and the network. Here the focus was on a specific time when there was a CPU load and navigating on Aimbetter in order to find the source process. Next thing, after knowing that the SQL is related, I should navigate and find the query or queries that caused it. Other example is seeing how easy it is with Aimbetter to know the specific database name and data file that might affect the disk I/O. Next thing is finding the query. MSSQL tab is relevant only for Microsoft SQL Server monitoring. There are other options as well. Here are displayed SQL settings details, SQL memory usage, connections, and more. On database, relevant for Microsoft SQL Server monitoring, databases details are displayed, starting from usage, files location, backup status, DR status, according to each DB, and more. Here is displayed graphs of transactions duration, log file size, and open transactions over time. On Wait Stats, Aimbetter has ordered all Microsoft Wait Stats and renamed it under Make Logic Names. Wait is shown both by percentage, value, and tasks. Navigating to queries, first thing you see, live queries, which are each query session that was running more than 3 seconds. I see that by all companies' levels of data. We can see that the company name and server name of the queries are different. On notes, I can see that some queries are with index recommendation or non-optimal query plan. Each live query that ends is going to history. It's recommended to use the filters in order to focus on specific need. For example, filtering blocking queries for the last day has 772 outcomes for all companies' level of data. Focusing on first event, data is ordered by time in default. Last blocking query has blocked 2 queries. It's possible to expand and see queries about all queries involved. There is non-optimal plan because of table scan and hash match. A DBA can click on the plan icon and download the query plan. On QAnalyzer, the focus is different. Here there are queries not only over 3 seconds, but the focus is also aggregation of queries affecting CPU, running many exceptions, duration, disk I/O, or cache usage. Clicking on the overview, query code details are displayed. Clicking on plans and performance, we can see data related to that. Going to Observer. Overview is doing an overview of all tabs: event log, DB backup details, deadlocks, change tracking. On that example, there were a comparison between 2 days and value changes. On event log, each event has details. The history of data is changeable. Focusing on specific syntax exception, I know the SQL server and the details of username, app, client, and process ID, and even the query code involved. I also have the error message and have data about 66 events for the last day of syntax exceptions. Change tracking shows summary of all informative changes that was done in all monitored servers. Clicking on each category, it's possible to see more details. Going to Servers and Rules are displayed lists of alerts. These lists is possible to edit by all companies level: specific company, specific server, and specific DB. It is recommended to use only specific server and specific DB rules. Edit in order to make sure the exact tuning of alert rules. Clicking on the Edit icon where the mouse is. I can edit each rule separately. Once I finish, I click on Apply, so the changes will be saved. Going to Settings, then Notifications, I can insert email notification and set it according to the needs. Here I can choose the level of data about which email is sent, and modules on performance rules, queries, and change tracking. Here I can choose the ranges of time and a specific rule time range of alerts sent. This is not affecting what is displayed on the Home tab. Click Save in order to save your changes. Web is available for users that purchased IIS monitoring. Main tab is called Web. I can see details about each request. I can also use the filters. Here I chose to filter by a specific error. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please contact us.